So good luck, have fun. And let's start with e4, I guess. That and that I guess the most prep for all games this season. Draw, yeah, we are now playing 2 games at the same time, the 2 last games of the match, and for both of us a draw is enough. I'm gonna go with this. This already should be a surprise. I have no games in the Rossolimo. So I'm expecting knight f6, but he has also in the past played g6. Not sure if I already want to share everything that I've looked at. Okay, knight f6. That's my main. So this position I have already played, but well, this in the other move order with knight c3 first, I expected this position too, but I preferred if he deviated, then I preferred the deviation lines here over the other one. Not sure if that's clear, but maybe I can show that after the game. So okay, yeah, here are already no games anymore from me. Although I probably not like this is really. Although here a lot of people play an early h3, and I will delay that for some time. So that could be a little bit surprise for him. I hope everything is working fine. Since I think I did the one stream at Jordan of my last OTB tournament, but before that, no, maybe 2 months since I last streamed. So I haven't played that much chess lately. So yeah, after the OTB tournament I went on a holiday for 2 weeks, and so I'm only back since Wednesday, yeah, really Thursday. I landed around midnight. So let me make sure that I don't play too fast. I think I start with t3. Since it was like this, I'm not really playing something like newly prepared for this game. This was always like meant to be my repertoire, but I hadn't studied anything of it yet, of this line, and yeah, I studied for the first time for this game, so I looked at some nuances. And yeah, for now it's going like right into my main line, so that's always an advantage. But yeah, they have some experience in this line, and I have none. So it's for sure double-edged. So what are like at some moment probably black will voluntarily put the knight back to h6, b6 to already preemptively defend this pawn is an idea. Also sometimes the bishop wants to go to a6, since like that's often in the Rossolimo, this bishop is struggling for squares. Since yeah, there are here some squares, but I will maybe take them away too. Then only like e6, but that's vulnerable for g5, knight g5. Or even often this knight will go to g5. So yeah, that's my main objective, to keep this bishop out of the game. Of course also, yeah, for now this bishop, but I will not be able to do that long term, since yeah, at some point black will probably play f6 and open up this diagonal. But yeah, it takes time, and it will also like weaken this diagonal. So okay, so let's see. They are taking their time. This is always like the most tricky part in streaming, I find. When you're still in prep, so there is like, it's hard to really think about lines and stuff, since yeah, you just know the moves. It's not that you need to think about them, and there's little to say about the position yet. Let me think. Now I look like this position. It's always different when you don't have the option to turn on the engine. So maybe let's think. Do I now see other ideas that black can do? Yeah, already like what I maybe can say, since this knight often goes to d5, queen will often go to d5. Of course, it's only after I move the knight. This knight wants to go to the d4 square, but I will try to avoid that or like when it lands here, to be able to trade it in favorable circumstances. But even more than that, so yeah, my bishop probably most lines wants to go to f4 to overprotect this square, so I don't need the protection from the rook anymore. So like, if black somehow does a move that does absolutely nothing, it's very hard to do an absolutely nothing move in this position, but let's say a5, it could be an idea to get some space. Then probably bishop f4 will be my move. With two big ideas. The first one, of course, so overprotecting this pawn, so I have this maneuver. Yeah, just knight e4. It's not necessarily only looking at c5, but also looking at g5, and even looking at the f6 square, since like I already said, black often wants to play f6, and so if they play f6, I take, and I have my knight on e4. And they can't really capture with the bishop, or that would be at least bad to do. So yeah, the knight in general is very well placed on e4. Second idea of bishop f4 is like, I sometimes will get my queen to this diagonal, and now h6 becomes a threat, since knight h6 is no longer defended enough. So after bishop f4, probably knight e6 in most lines is forced. Sometimes they have also are still just in time to play f6. So it's not forced. I think after bishop f4 they can still do like a slow plan, and whenever I I attack, and after queen d2 play then f6, and they are still just in time to do that. So but yeah, if they don't want to play with f6, then they need after knight bishop f4 need to maneuver the knight. Yeah, so of course, yeah, my queen wants to go to d2, sometimes also to e2. And of course, then my second rook will also go to the center. What can I still say about this position? So yeah, sometimes I will not necessarily kick this knight away, but whenever the knight is gone, then h3 becomes a main candidate. Yeah, with multiple ideas, of course, not allowing bishop g4. Also, when after knight f5, I even often want to go for g4, since after knight f5, let's see, that d4 is not a good square, so maybe I already have played in some lines I already have played c3 by that point, and then the knight, yeah, still has no other squares, so I still like controlling all these squares, and yeah, often I already have control over yeah, at least like, let's say, let's do a line. So let's say knight h6 is in at one point, bishop f4 is at in, knight e4. Yeah. The tempo wise it is correct, but I kick the knight. Yeah, at that point they can't really go back anymore, since then I have queen d2, and the knight will be trapped on that square. So yeah, that's a key important motive. Of course, yeah, in this kind of lines, when the knight is on f6, there's a bishop here, they always like, it's not that the game is over when I tap that knight, they always can just sack on g4, and it's not enough compensation with the 2 pawns for the piece, but yeah, in practical sense, of course, you always have still compensation in these kind of positions. I think I've even seen some like master games that where, yeah, black misplayed the position, was forced into doing that sacrifice, which was not like not good, but and white had for a big time of the game then like a winning advantage, but they couldn't convert it, since yeah, these positions are of course practically not that easy, even at the highest level. Okay, maybe I also can say about something about like what I want to, how I see the streaming in the near future. So I probably will start again streaming both my Lone Wolf games and my 45 games. Also, I'm thinking about starting my like daily blitz sessions, maybe, or maybe one of them, since sometimes I do more of them in one day. Maybe that becomes a bit like start the stream, do the stream, then and then start the stream again in a couple of hours. That's maybe a bit of much. So I think I usually will just do like one stream on the hour of this game, so 18 UTC. Except of course if I'm playing a game earlier on the day, since yeah, I almost never play later than this, and if it's later then it will be only very slightly later. And then maybe also like I'm thinking like in 2 weeks I have my next OTB tournament. I'm like a little bit thinking, will I do like daily recaps of my games or not? I'm not sure yet. I think like it could be a good way to like keep it relaxed, and like anyway after the game maybe I want to have a quick look at the game anyway. I can do it in a relaxed way that way. Not like deep analysis or anything, but I'm not sure yet. Since also like in an OTB tournament I also want to keep my energy up. So that's kind of surprising. They went for bishop e6, which I said earlier that can be a little bit they are vulnerable to this idea. Of course they have also d5, so maybe they want really to trade off this bishop, and they will want to do this in this long way, which would be like an extra tempo to this. And that there are even already lines going that way, which I really can't stop. I can stop it, but I'm usually not stopping them. So that should be like very favorable for me, since this would be a tempo up. I'm not ready for 94 yet, so I think bishop f4. Although I'm now officially out of my prep, but bishop f4 just looks natural. It could be that I want to play c4, but I'm very happy to play d4, since I didn't say that earlier. Even like it looks very counterintuitive, but often I even will go for the d4 break, since I sort of undouble their doubled pawns. I open their position while they have the bishop pair, but I am just like have more active pieces. Like I often like way more easily can control the central square central files. I guess queen b6 sort of can be an idea, but it feels wrong. I think probably even can just play queen d2, and after this I very happily like do this kind of stuff. So I guess that's the Streamlabs that giving me a noise, so I guess I have a follow, so thank you for that. I can't say your name, since there is a risk that I see, if I check it, that I see the chat. It of course would be chat in general is not yet cheating, but if I can see, there could be moves in the chat, and that's perceived as cheating. So you are free for people that are like unfamiliar with how we do stuff in the league. You can just chat freely in the Twitch chat, and I'm not checking the chat during the game. So okay, I guess I now need to start focusing in a bit more, since I'm officially I'm out of prep concretely, but I'm still very much in like prep idea wise. For example, like I really know I want to play queen d2 next move, since I'm threatening this h3 stuff at that point. So also there was also, I could have also, I didn't go now for that, but like there are also some ideas with going with queen e2. and then after knight f6 take here, and very fastly remaneuver my queen to there. I didn't consider that enough, if that would be interesting in this case. But yeah, this pawn is way more often. It's only like in one line I saw where this queen e2 was a thing. So like it feels more natural to go. So big thing with the bishop on e6. Now f6 is like way harder to get in. Of course, at this moment, like I guess my bishop is undefended. So yeah, this rook f6 both stalls defending. Although no, since I just have bishop g5 and the bishop drops. So f6 is not a move in this current position. So yeah, looks like knight h6 is almost forced, I would say, in this position. I guess yeah, there is also some bishop d5 stuff. After which I'm thinking, do I want to go knight e4? I don't think I want to take here, since yeah, that's like looks like it really improves their central position. Although concretely, I guess I need to consider it, since bishop here, take, and let's say they take queen d2, and this knight is really in trouble. Although I guess then they have f6 at least. Yeah, that's in those kind of lines I always also can consider e6 to sort of keep this bishop blocked. Renewing this h3 threat maybe, I think then probably winning a pawn. But yeah, for now, although concretely like taking with a knight could be okay, knight e4 still feels more natural. Since yeah, if they want to take here, of course yeah, my rook just improves his position. Although I guess maybe, so let's say bishop d5, knight e4, take, f, yeah, maybe they are not forced to go for f5, but let's say f6 or f5, and I take. If they then recapture with a knight, then they are hitting my rook. But even that, like, that pawn really is weak in that lines, looks like. Although I need to look out. My bishop will be loose in those lines, so I need to look out a bit for that. And then let's see. Yeah, this is still like by far my main candidate for them. And then no, I will not play queen d2, I will play knight e4 then, with tempo on this pawn. So after knight, the later knight f5, I will have c3. Okay, and so this is, and maybe they are already in quite some trouble here, since yeah, this is with tempo on this pawn. Then after queen d2, knight f5, c3, and this knight is stuck, and now I have just this idea. Then yeah, but yeah, they have always like this, there is this idea to go bishop h8 and knight g8. It's yeah, it happens in some lines, but and the engine even didn't like hated those positions that much. It's yeah, it feels really strange, and it feels so. And for sure now with the bishop on e6 also, maybe it's now even worse since there's no knight e6 remaneuvering. So yeah, the knight is still really stuck there, the bishop is stuck behind it. So these positions feel very good for me. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything else. Like hard to imagine. So yeah, 94, yeah, I guess. Yeah, probably can I'm just threatening to take this pawn, I think. And since also it will be with tempo on the bishop, so hard to imagine that I can't like capture that pawn. Since yeah, and also like if they move the bishop, then I'm even sometimes, yeah, it's unclear if I want to do that, but in some cases I'm also attacking the e6 pawn, or let's say if the bishop is no longer, I'm also sometimes threatening e6 in general. I think after knight, almost certain they will need to play b6. I guess queen here, but yeah, those the queen can sometimes even get stuck in these positions. So, but yeah, it's still, and I have like c4 is a very anti-positional move in this kind of positions, but yeah, sometimes it can gain me material. So yeah, then of course it's good. Okay. Yeah, there are a lot of 45 streams going on the same time. Oh no, I shouldn't do this. Accidentally had my OBS open, but luckily I didn't see anything. Okay, so do I start with queen d2 here? h3 is sometimes a move. Queen d2 is more forcing, of course, but it's forcing them into something they anyway want to do, but maybe it's just not that good. Yeah, so a clear thing why this bishop e6 maybe wasn't that great. Like in a similar position, so let's say I play queen d2, knight f5, and I play c3 to avoid them getting a knight e4. In these kind of positions, bishop a6 is often a move, to attack this pawn that has become a little bit weak. But when the bishop is on e6, that's no longer a move. I guess like after queen d2 and c3, now my rook is a little bit babysitting this pawn, since maybe they could grab this one, since there's no longer b3 trapping it. But that's another follow. Thank you very much. Or follow or anything else, I don't know. Hope you have a good time in chat and a good weekend in general, I guess. Hope you have also a nice summer like here in Belgium. I think hard to see. Like h3 could be that it maybe is slightly better, but it feels like too finesse of a move. Like queen d2 is... I guess a thing could be that maybe they sometimes can attack this knight. Although even like in this current with the knights here, I always have also like knight u5 stuff to re-defend the knight. Yeah, and it's also first with temple, so there is never time for bishop c4. Since I'm now attacking the knight, they need to move, and so they are already blocking it. So that makes no sense. Okay. So I think can see them doing any other move. Sometimes there is some stuff like having some tempo here on my bishop, but makes no sense in this current position. I have nothing loose, I think. Yeah, everything. All my pieces are now really nicely defending each other. I guess, yeah. These knights, they at least are defended by pawns, and all other pieces are connected. So hard to imagine any tactics. Okay. Guess, yeah, but yeah, knight h4 here. There's not really a way. So c3. And I think, yeah, now g4 is a threat. I'm not really sure how they will parry that. It's of course very weakening g4, but a piece is a piece. And like, I guess, yeah, probably bishop h8 is the only move in this position. Don't really see anything else. Maybe they can like do some tricks with queen d7, g4, knight h6 take, and there are some mating threats here, but okay, always I have too many defenders, I think, for that to be ever a thing. Okay, so I think can they still do all the moves except bishop h8? And after bishop h8, will I play then g4 or not? Since now, if it's not warping a piece, then it's a very weakening move. Maybe. Yeah, that's. And now, since this bishop, well, I don't think it was probably that great of a move. I need to like still. The positions are different, like compared to like all the lines I checked, even like the the side lines, since there are teams that were not really relevant in them. So yeah, I don't think I have seen any line, even like where the bishop arrived on e6. So yeah, first of all, so sometimes they can take here, but also sometimes a4 is included. Then they have bishop b3 still. So yeah, like this rook is kind of a bit stuck. Maybe, so I'm maybe even thinking that I sometimes want to play b3. It looks a little bit strange. But yeah, this pressure is kind of annoying. And I think maybe the fact that this bishop is misplaced is enough compensation. like to do that. Also, yeah, there are lines where you play with c4 and allow this knight e4, but I don't think maybe later I will do that. But yeah, this pawn is then also backward, so let's see. Think pretty likely like my next move will be h3. So yeah, sometimes I maybe will go for g4, but I like to have to already have this g pawn preemptively defended and have a little bit more information before I will do it. Since yeah, if I played, so let's say they play bishop h8, if I played g4, which really kicks their knight to an unfortunate square, but then like I'm anyway forced to play h3 the next move. So I think I prefer to start with h3 and then have at least one extra move that I know my opponent has played, and I can I guess yeah, that was also an idea. h5, that sometimes happen too. Okay, that makes a lot of sense, stopping g4 like that. But now, yeah, now h3 surely becomes more attractive since I renew the threat. So what other moves do I have? Yeah, sometimes I want to break in the center with d4, but yeah, with this knight still on f5, I don't really want to do that. So yeah, there is this knight e5 ideas, but I think the bishop will just go to d5, and I would be like okay if I, for example, play knight e5 to play c4 and then be able to take on e6, but yeah, of course they will not do that, and they will instead take here on f3. Oh yeah, of whatever of my knights is still on the square, and then yeah, it will not be worth to weaken my pawn structure like that. Any other candidates? Don't think so. Think yeah, here renewing the strat makes a lot of sense. And they, yeah, I think they anyway still will need to play bishop h8. Of course, yeah, maybe they can argue that these lines where they sack a piece will be improved, but I sort of doubt that. Yeah, and yeah, so yeah, the only other move like where they could get a square under control is, but then yeah, I will probably play knight g5. Not sure which knight yet. Could be both of them, but one of the knights to g5. Grab that bishop, and yeah. Although they get like, of course, some action on the f file, but I think that's so weakening of their pawn structure. That should be good for me. So yeah, h3. Yeah, just a logical continuation of my play. Still nothing loose in my position. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I guess my d3 pawn is now the loosest in my position. Since yeah, I guess I could in some extreme situations defend it with rook d1, but of course I prefer to defend it with this rook. But yeah, for now, yeah, there are some problems with. Though it's not even. Maybe I can play rook d1. now I look at it. Since after, let's say rook d1, I need to, okay, that's an interesting, yeah, if they, let's say they play bishop h8, in which case I don't think I will play g4, then maybe I'm gonna look at rook d1. So since after bishop a2 I have b4 with the tempo on the bishop and a tempo on this pawn. I'm not sure I can capture it, but maybe. And then they have bishop b3 with the tempo on my rook, but then I can go back to b1, and that should be good for me. I guess they have maybe then queen d5, but yeah, still. Oh yeah, in general, yeah, they have maybe in some lines queen d5, although I don't think so, since I have c4 with the tempo on both the queen and yeah, wherever this bishop is, and yeah, my queen is more than enough defended, so there are no tactics with pins on the d file. So yeah, is b4 directly? No, that would be not great, since now I give this square. I think, yeah, rook d1. Yeah, if they play bishop h8, which I think is the only move, then rook d1 is by far my main candidate. Don't think this is good because of b4. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's check again. Of course, knight g5s are always on the position, but I think bishop d5 for now is too comfortable a reply. I have e6 after that. That I can. That's interesting at least. But I don't think it's that great yet. It's something to consider. So let's say knight g5. Since yeah, now they have weakened like this structure. Now they played h5, the structure became a lot weaker. But yeah, still, let's say knight g5, bishop d5, e6. Oh, it's interesting. Surely interesting. So yeah, let's consider like my main move, rook d1. Like if they don't grab a2, what is my next move then? Since, do I now want to play d4? Maybe I kind of want to do with them like even, since I will have like a slight lead in development. Another fall. But thank you again. Like, hope you have a nice weekend, maybe some nice summer day, and a nice stream, of course. No. Okay. Feels like a moment to take a think. So yeah, I can play rook d1, and I'm sure there's nothing wrong with that. But let's say they play queen d7, which looks kind of normal move. Maybe they want to put pressure here. And I'm not sure what my follow-up will be after that. could go. Could go some like try to weaken some stuff with a4, e5 to create a weakness, but I'm not sure what that does. And now I need to find a plan. Yeah, I don't need a long-term plan, but at least something more than just one move. Like, can play rook d1, but if I don't have a next move, it doesn't make that much sense. Since yeah, queen d7 or other like natural moves black can play. Black has quite queen d7, at least one rook to the d file. Maybe sometimes f6. They have like candidate moves. It's not that I can say you can do anything. They can improve their position. And so yeah, I guess I need to like consider like what is d4. Yeah, often in these kind of positions, when you play d4, it's with the idea to take with the knight, but maybe I want to take with the pawn, but then I give this d5 square, which is not that great. Could it be that, could I maybe just like rook d1, d4, mass straight on d4, have a rook here. And then maybe knight g5 has this bishop. Could it be that I ever like just no, it doesn't really do anything to like play g4, except yeah, taking the knight back is nice, but like it's not that I can open the position more than that. Just to open h file, which I can't do that much with. I think no, doesn't like. It's too far-fetched to get like both a rook and a queen somewhere there. Don't see how I do that. I'm struggling a bit. And this b3 idea of earlier. Maybe I play at some point c4, then knight u5. Yeah, I guess no. I guess I do this knight then. If they here, I just trade, and I kept this bishop. And that bishop really like is sort of squares. Like it can go of course back to e6, but then I have e6 myself. And then maybe no. Yeah, maybe that's an idea. But maybe I shouldn't have then played c3. I'm using a lot of my time advantage. So maybe let's reconsider doing knight g5 directly. I'm gonna leave it like which knight, a knight to g5. Maybe this one. Since yeah, like here can at least comfortably capture. Well, maybe not. That's not that crazy an idea. So knight g5. But yeah, the problem is if I do this knight to g5, then I'm not really threatening. After bishop d5, I'm not really threatening e6. Though, I guess probably I am. No, probably I am. So let's say knight g5. Here, e6. Yeah, whatever way they take, knight g5. I guess yeah, they have sometimes maybe knight g6, g7 to defend it. I know. No, this isn't. It's not. Or I guess. Oh no, I can just go with this knight. Don't. So knight g5, bishop here, take. So if they capture here, if they capture with the pawn, yeah, then I can take with the knight. They need them to recapture. I have my hook here, which is an excellent square. Taking this pawn here, that should be good. And if they capture here, then I can just here, and there's no threat. Yeah, also I have done the in between. I can take on f7. Okay, maybe that's decent. So then the question in these lines: do I want to include rook d1 first or not? What's a more useful move? Let's say queen d7 or rook d1. I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe I instead want my rook later to e1. It makes some sense. So maybe I don't want to include rook d1. Okay, let's then make clear which I think I want to go with this knight, since I want to follow up with e6. If they capture here, first probably include this capture, and then yeah, I don't even like, maybe in some cases I can just take here. It's ugly, but that would be an extra pawn for me, since yeah, they can't recapture them. Well, they could with a rook, but then I win an exchange. And if they capture here, of course, yeah, they can decide to do nothing, but okay, a slow move. Okay, it feels right. I have a lot of, although they have also a lot of pieces here, but yeah, getting this e6 is thematic. I need to look out at my my queen sort of becomes as double duties in this position. Yeah, although for now the knight is here, but sometimes if the knight moves, the rook will be attacking this bishop, and the queen will be attacking the pawn, so maybe they can do some exchange checks, but I don't really see concretely how that works for now. But I will be like looking out to these teams. I think I spent more than enough time on this move. Doesn't make sense to give away all my time advantage. Yeah, this knight. I guess, yeah, no. This maybe. I guess, but yeah, that's probably I'm okay with it. They could be like, that I missed something. Okay. So they could be playing bishop d6, e6, f6. And now if I go here, now they can capture here. Although they are still not winning a pawn, since I have at least knight c5 in that line. So yeah, that's not that bad. And gap back, although the pawn immediately, now the bishop is blocked. The bishop is loose. If they do this straight, now they have this ugly pawn structure. My hook is active. No, that line is good for me. So yeah, to slow it down maybe a bit after bishop d5, e6, f6, knight e4. Don't think they can take here because of knight e5. It's still a lot of IOs. And then the bishop is hanging. Yeah. That line is just in general very good for me. So yeah, but they are not. They still can go for that line, but not capture here. Okay, they go now for knight g7. Okay, makes some sense. But now I can maybe play d4. Not forced to take here, since yeah, that allows the knight to get to a better position. Now I kind of want to keep this mess. So after d4 take, I probably will take with the knight. Of course, yeah, they could be now thinking about f6. Although, no, then probably not really, since the bishop would be hanging. I think, I guess they can take it to rook and but no, no. Oh, maybe they can. But yeah, d4. Now that the knight is gone here, since after if they now capture, I will recapture with a knight, which yeah will be attacking this pawn, attacking this bishop. If they move, I can renew the idea of e6. And still, like, there's still this connection between my bishop and my queen, which is nice. That like they are both, there's both never a pin. Yeah, they both defended always, which is nice. Any other lines? Yeah, I think general makes a lot of sense. I guess I need to. Yeah, I think this is probably a threat in the position, I assume. Guess I can play queen d5. So they can recapture with the queen. Also, yeah, it's not completely impossible. But still, I think it feels like I'm moving forward with my pieces. Yeah, and still after, let's say, so let's say queen d5, take, let's say they take with the queen to not mess up their pawn structure. Now I have knight e4 again, attacking this bishop. But again, e6 threats if the bishop moves. No, feels good. So yeah, I think this is my main threat position. Maybe, but yeah, it's all too slow. Since, like I was saying, that there is somehow that they need to kick my knight away and then may have their queen here and then they can, but it's way too many moves. And yeah, if I kick my knight, I probably go here, so it's again already no longer the case. Oh no, it's impossible to maneuver. Yeah, that's it's kinda with my knight on g5 and e6 on h3. Even if they in general already are objectively not good. Now, yeah, they even don't do anything since yeah, I can just recapture with the knight and I don't need to mess up my pawn structure. Is my t? Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. There are a lot of streams going on right now. Guess I'm allowed to like check the position, right? On Lichess45 on my teammate is doing. I'm not sure I will open the game since maybe in chats it's always possible that someone is but maybe I guess I can do it like this. Board, yeah, board 6. So I can show it for a second. I'll not do it that long. So this is my teammate. We are black. So for them also draw is enough. But let's count the material. Not sure why the king is still in the center. That feels a little bit off. But I guess they have an extra pawn at least. But the bishop pair. Is this knight hanging? No, it's not hanging yet, but it's close to hanging. Not sure if I'm not showing this, but I think I'm still. Yeah, the knight is also pinned. And if they castle, then the h7 pawn is hanging. Yeah, tricky position, but too difficult. Yeah, too tricky to like have a quick evaluation. I guess they could be thinking about it's d4, right, to cement that knight. That looks kind of nice. Then they also I'm not sure why the opponent didn't decide to pin that bishop. That looks tempting too. But they already could have done that on the previous move. Yeah, that probably just looked winning to me. Since then the knight also would have been hanging. No. Okay. But let's focus on my game. So yeah, looks like there are still chances for both, but it's not at all clear they will be able to get a draw. So it's important for me to get a draw on the board. Of course, yeah, in this current position, I'm not sure. That would be very tricky if they now decide to propose a draw. Since yeah, I'm surely think I'm better here, but it's not like they have still the bishop pair. It's not that, although I guess I can take away the bishop here in the current position. But yeah, it's not like a safe advantage by any means. So it's not but yeah, I think they care enough about the team aspect that I never will propose a draw here. So I will also not like be, it would be not nice sportsmanship from me to propose it. That would put them in a really ugly spot. So I'm not gonna do, yeah. Don't think taking with the pawn makes any sense, since then they have a really nice stable square here with the bishop. Can do with the queen, but like that feels off too. It could, since no. Then this knight's concept of me, I've been talking a lot about it. These three pieces always keep defending each other, is then gone too. So don't really want that either. So I think I'm imagining I'm always gonna play knight e4. Of course I am now maybe sometimes, yeah, probably I'm threatening to take this pawn. But yeah, I think they always will play bishop d5. And I'm pretty sure I will play e6 next. But yeah, I will for sure also first take a little time to calculate some stuff. Since yeah, that's not at all trivial. Yeah, there is some stuff to calculate there. Since now maybe they can play with f6. I have then knight f7 ideas. Oh, that gets tricky. Another idea after bishop d5 will be c4. Since if I take knight here, that maybe looks good. Since it could be that wins me a pawn. But yeah, I need to think a bit more about that yet. Although no, not necessarily. They don't need to take here. They can play something like queen here, or even queen here. Oh, I go for c5. Guess no, they sort of can do mass trades, but like, is this ending position not favorable for me? Maybe it's not. Yeah, they argue that it's not that bad, and they are maybe right. I don't need to. Of course, this is the most logical move. I even can start. Technically, I think I can start with taking here. It's an option. Don't know why I would finesse it like that, but it's an option. Since yeah, but yeah, this is the other option in the position. But yeah, like I already said earlier, I think here now for sure queen e8 is probably just pretty decent for them. And maybe my knight is just getting trapped there. Looks like it. So I don't think now that's an option. So I think I'm just gonna capture. Probably they capture here. They could technically, of course, yeah, at any point. And this inclusion, I'm not sure they will do that, but they can do it at some point. Yeah, probably I think they will do it, since yeah, then they will be able to get a tempo armor bishop later. But yeah, I think so. Let's say something like capture 2 times. let's say capture here, rook d8, and I think I go back to g5. I'm still defending here. This pawn, yeah, that's just, it's sort of, is this bishop now not just locked? It's very hard to get it back into the game. I guess they can do something like bishop c7, king h7 here. Since, yeah, important, like they can try to attack. But I have f4. That was I was thinking. Well, no, I'm looking at it. Oh no, but then they instead of rook d8, maybe they just play rook f5. Then I need to play f4 with my bishop still here, which is a little bit less nice. Okay. That could be the idea. Take. Maybe I should have included rook d1 at some point. No. It's that's the past. And yeah, also not sure position would have gone the same. So take here. It's still like, it's hard to imagine me ever being worse. Since yeah, these like so the pawn structure will be pawns here, here and here. That's of course a very ugly pawn structure. The bishop will be locked for now. It would be nice if I could somehow maybe here this rook f5 is, I think, a nice move in the end of the variation. I think f4, and they even could go for g5. Although then I have maybe g4. Yeah, it gets a little bit tricky. Yeah, I don't think the rook has squares. Needs to go back. And then maybe, yeah. And then maybe can take on g5. It's a little bit too deep a line. I think. Let's start with making the moves. I guess there's a chance they play this directly. Okay, let's start with taking with the queen. Guess I could have pre-moved that since there's no sensible in-between move right now. I don't think so. Okay, yeah. And this one I also should have, although yeah, no, it was not a forced pre-move, but yeah. Was I ever really going to play another move? I don't think so. Oh yeah, now it's my move. What I'm saying. Oh wow. It sort of was like calculating this like it was my opponent's move. But that's not. So then I can get in like bishop g5 and f4. It looks very nice. Since their bishop is locked in. Of course, my bishop at that point has also very little moves. But but yeah, like I'm always at least pressuring here, and they are just looking at the wall. Of course, before I ever can take here, I need to defend this pawn, but Yeah, and they have this ID, but that's really slow, I think. I think this looks just a nice advantage for me. So rook f5, f4. Don't see it. And for now I'm attacking this pawn too, I think. So yeah, that's also, there's not really like, how like rook f7 is, like they have no nice moves to defend it. And now rook f5 is a nice actively move, but now after f4 this rook, what is this rook doing there? I guess if anyway their plan is this, yeah, of course king h7 needs first before bishop h6, then the rook is already, but yeah, still like I can even have in the meantime probably enough time to even set up like a complete dark square blockade. And yeah, they will like, this rook will need time to get back in the game, and I can just probably win on the queen side, I would guess. So it's not easy at all, but like maybe there's some like very clever defense, but I wouldn't be surprised either if this is just positionally winning. It's like my structure is so much better, my coordination is better, like everything is better. Okay, so yeah, now let's say I was talking earlier about accepting it all. I think I'm now declining just like, I'm sorry team, and I even like, I'm almost that sure, like I'm not sure that I will win this at all, but I think the chance that I lose is that small that like even getting that half match point more could be worth it in team perspective. Like I think the chance of me winning compared to losing is that much bigger. Maybe not yet. It's the chance a half match point is crucial in the final standings is not that big, of course, and a half board point and a match point, yeah, of course. So yeah, with this win, looks like I think this is the closest I will ever have. Like, yeah, starting from next round, I think we are fully in contention for podium places. So it looks like d4 happened. So it didn't happen to pin. Was there already a hook here? How did this happen? I'm not sure. Queen. Also, but that is this. I guess they can sack here. I'm not sure how this is. Very complex. Still best not to. But I wanted to check the standings. Not calculating another game is not ideal now. I guess okay, this makes sense, but the king is still like. Although maybe it's also hard for me to make progress. And okay, maybe it's just a draw. Let's see how can I try to win this. Since yeah, I think they can challenge they have enough to challenge the d file. I guess maybe I start with rook d1 or not. Since I think I will need to open a second front at some point if I want to win this. So yeah, let's say I think at some point I probably need to play f4. And so let's say they challenge me. We challenge each other on the d file. Probably, although they maybe can force the. Although let's say if we get a pure bishop endgame, do I have still winning chances in that? I will not start. It's since I was thinking maybe I want to stay more flexible, since maybe at some point I need to get my bishop back. But yeah, that's probably will always be very tricky. I think it's more that I prefer like my I guess no probably it's hard to imagine that the pure bishop endgame is not winning for me. Since I can keep this lock on the king side, and so then I can go run with my king here, so they will need to challenge me, but then they will need to park this bishop on f8, and that will be like that passive that I think I will then have time to like remaneuver my bishop. I'm not sure. Maybe since maybe let's say here the kings are I don't know, the kings are something like here, and I go my bishop here. Maybe then I can go. No, they can still not go g7 then. They can only when I move, and then I think I have time enough for h4 to lock it here, and then I'm just playing up a bishop. So this like long term what I want to get in is like get here like a triangle of pawns, but my bishop at this side, and then I think I'm winning, since then this bishop is forever locked. The problem is like if I get here, try to get out, maybe they can sack a pawn with g5. That I want to avoid. So because of that I need a pawn on h4, which is not that easy to get in, but maybe I can do it. We will see if it's possible. So now also why I did this, started with f4, was thinking I want to challenge with d rook, not with a rook, since maybe at some point I want to include some like pawn pushes here to open some second front. Probably it doesn't matter that much, but maybe this should just be winning. Can't I not just force both hooks off, and then I think I always can get in that plan I was saying, except if they maybe somehow can get their king super active. It should be a technical win. So okay, does it make maybe this is too finessing, although I think it should be fine. Maybe I shouldn't make me solve it too difficult. Since by the way, the plan to try to trade of the bishops is so slow that I think I can go just with this one. And yeah, there is some like that I need to risk some pin here, but I don't see how they do it. They need to have the rook on f5, and then to have done bishop e5 threats, which I think it's impossible. I guess they have rook d5. What do I do against that? Probably I just play c4. Force their hand. Then they need to go back. Oh yeah. Yeah, probably after rook d5 I need, since I don't think I want, yeah, to allow, yeah, this trade. No, I think I want c4. Maybe they should play c4 themselves. Although, do I have done rook d4? Yeah, probably I have rook d4 then. Yes. And then I'm for sure, then it's even easier to get my thing in. Or not. No, since I'm not sure then that I can trade off the rooks. Okay, that's an idea. I can go for c5 and get rook d5 in. But maybe I just, oh, yeah, that's interesting. It could be, but yeah, it's no, I couldn't have allowed them this. That would have been too deep. I was thinking for a second that maybe starting with c4 was more precise, but yeah, it's also c4 is quite a risky move, since it will really lock up the king side and the queen side a lot more, and then it's not that sure anymore that maybe they then sort of can set up a blockade. So yeah, I would think, yeah, playing rook d5 is a very, oh, okay, that's nice. Yeah, maybe they are just in time. Although I'm also in time here, so I'll think, this is tough. But yeah, now they have already created here a weakness, right? So now if I can get off the rooks and can keep this blockade, which I think I always can, then I just need to get this bishop here and then cap this pawn, and there's nothing they can do about it. This bishop never can get, so I just need to make sure. And if they, yeah, like c4, so after b4, if they play c4, that would be, can trade here probably, and it's an extra weakness. And now I can get my king in. Yeah, now it's still a good practice for them, since now they maybe can keep one of the rooks on. It's a bit unfortunate. So let's say here, rook d5. Since yeah, here, yeah, maybe this is a threat, right? c4. Although maybe b3. Oh yeah, I just get rook here. don't know. Yeah, no, after this, if they play c4, then I trade and I play king e2. And yeah, with one hook doesn't matter anymore, all this stuff. Guess they can have the d3 square, but don't think they are doing anything over there. And d5. Then I think I want b3. Although then, then it's c4. But yeah, still like these pawns. Although it allows the king in, but to where? Although maybe it should take and then hook b1. And yeah, there is nothing anymore. There is only, then there is again still only one open file, and it's a p file, and I have then full control over it. Okay, that looks good. Yeah, I think so. With which move I wanted to start? King f2 was the line I was calculating, right? So of course now there could be some like tactics, but don't see how they are ever working. King move threatens to take here, but there are no threatening king moves in this position. No, so I guess after rook d5, then yeah, and whenever they trade, then they have king e6, but maybe in some like very far-fetched line. Okay. Maybe don't think too much about it anymore, since this game can still take some time. Even like if I'm still thinking I'm winning, this is not a conversion like in no time. Looks like that went wrong for my teammate. Yeah. Pity. Okay, I guess I need to do it then. And yeah, I changed down, and they could like, if that's not sure which was the last move, but they were close to winning, like even a full hook, but probably that was never. The opponent was just in time. Okay, so the pressure is on, is now the decider. My opponent needs to win, and I need to draw, but as I said, yeah, I would be like, I would be really ashamed if I lose this, but it's not it wouldn't be the first time I'm ashamed when I play chess. I have messed up worse than this. So. Okay. Let's think. What could be the trickiest defense? So yeah, in general, yeah, they probably maybe want to use this d5 square. So if I take here, then at least they have some entry for the king. Still not sure that, yeah, and also this like these pawns are more healthy. I have done like king side majority, but I don't really want to use it anyway. Okay, so they go for that. Need to make sure that there is no, but still, as earlier said, like the king is a really bad piece to do discoveries. Like these are the 3 moves a king can do. Like it's hard to imagine them ever being a threat. I guess they could be thinking about sacking like this. But I think I will not take. I will first trade rooks and then take. And that will be an easy win. Yeah, I of course can just play like the safe way and start with king e2. That's a safe way to do it. Let me check. King e2. Let's say they play c4, right? Since yeah, they need to lock. Stop this plan of b3 c4. Although, it's not even sure that great. Okay, still, no, I need to. It's not super clear how. Don't really want to do this, right? b3, rook here. Then I anyway need to play king e2. Think I almost always need to play king e2. Problem is, like, even if I get this b3 c4 in, and if rook d4, that would be a narrowing square to capture on. Maybe I should have started with b3. I'm not sure. I saw it get, yeah, maybe that was more precise. King e2. Okay. Yeah, not really threatening anything, right? So I can like b3. But yeah, I'm not really threatening c4 in that position. Since rook d4 is already annoying. I guess it's also I can do something like the rook is kind of stuck then there, so I still could like trade, and let's say they take back with a rook, just play rook c1, and like this is defended. So I then put my king here. Probably. So I can move my bishop. Somehow. And maybe. No, it's all pretty tricky to organize. Although they are also like in this, maybe they are almost like in some zugzwang sometimes. Not really, but yeah, that should be maybe then. So I need to then to get in that. Okay. I always need king 2, right? Yes. Then yeah, I'm less afraid of the c4 than earlier. I think I still then just can play b3. If they then play rook here, then I trade decently okay. Since I then take the b file. And there's nothing on the... Although, yeah, this pawn is then a bit weak. Still, oh. It's not... Oh, I just play rook d1 then. Yeah, no, if they then... I capture with the rook, I can play rook d1. I trade, and then rook d1, yeah. And if they take with the pawn, then I can play rook d1. Okay, so c4 I'm not afraid. This one. So king e2, this one. b3. No, I'm not sure I will play. My opponent offers it. I'm gonna play on. Sorry team, I know this is a match win, but I cannot. That's not chess taking draws here. If I now mess this up, now I've officially given away a match win. But okay. Do they have any threats? Guess b3 c4 and then no. After c4 I always will take here, right? That was I don't think, yeah. I think I'm still pretty convinced that king and pawn endgame should be good for me. This sacrifice. Oh no, maybe they can do the sacrifice. Oh wow. Oh no, it's still not good, but they could do it since. Yeah, I still probably trade one of the rooks off. They need to recapture back with the rook. You take back rook, and I have crucially this one. I just have an extra piece for 2 pawns, so it should be a win, but it's now a little bit more in position than earlier, but not that much more. Okay, so but yeah, the problem is I don't yet know which my follow-up is after this. And I'm also really not sure what their follow-up is. Oh, that's at least nice. Maybe next time, maybe I try to get in this plan. Problem is, yeah, the moment I move my bishop here, then g4 works, I think. So it's not really possible to get that in. So yeah, maybe if I want to win, we will need to go for the c4. Take, rook d4, take, rook here, and then rook c1, which is, and I'm not like super sure how I make progress off of that, but yeah. And since even I can't play bishop h4 then, that's, maybe it's just a draw. But yeah, it's still like, please let them make a couple more precise moves. We'll see. Maybe a4. Maybe I go for a4 instead of c4. And I don't give any squares away. I guess they can go for b4 themselves. But yeah, after any pawn break they make, I think I trade. And so if they take with rook, then I'm happy to like create an extra open file, and I take the open file with my rook, and their rook can't do anything on this file since yeah, my king controls this file, I think. And if they take with a pawn, yeah, then still the same. Still I take the open file. So yeah, I think that's in general just probably will be my winning idea. I will try to create one open file on these 3 files. And the moment the files opens, I trade off one of the rooks and take the open file with my rook. Although I guess, let's say after a4 they can trade, take here, and take the file themselves. Ugh. Why is chess always that hard? Chess is hard. Or maybe c4. Oh no, it was always this rook d4. b4. Is b4 ever a move? Or maybe b4. Oh no, it's still the same. Like the take trade and take. But at least with b4 then my king is closer to the one open file. So my king can control it better. No. Yeah, I'm like still very hard to like mess this up for me, but okay, c4. That was my idea here. Take here, right? Then I take here and then I play rook b1. Although, yeah, the problem is this one, right? Maybe I take first here. Okay. So take. Maybe I just play rook b1. Oh no, they can trade once and then take the open file. Cannot do that much on the open file, but well, I king d2. But we are here in time. So take. And this, I think I can take the open file, right? And a rook here. I can challenge, and after here, no. Oh yes, I can go back here. If they then go back. No, I guess they can, yeah, they can here. Now maybe I can activate my king. Yes. Okay, that's a solid plan. So take. Take, and then hook here. And if they take with a pawn, then it's similar like here, right? Yes. So, can they ever like take? No, then they need to trade both rooks. So, and that I think should be good for me. So okay, maybe okay. So the plan was rook here. Let's make sure I don't do anything stupid. Pawn takes, rook b1. Like, of course they have now some b4 ideas, which is not like, which yeah, I need to look out, but I think here I at least already will cap this pawn, and will at least get behind. I don't think it's ever enough. If they after like this and just try to get in d4, so rook d5 looks more logical. I challenge, they probably avoid. Then yeah, maybe in some, like in the, if we trade off the all the rooks, maybe I will play g4, since then, like, to take away this square of the king. That makes some sense. So then my king is more free to roam. Guess like if we trade, they can like try to get this pawn here, this pawn, and then finally get the bishop out. But yeah, my bishop is still like forced, right? Yeah, maybe that's a way to draw. Rook b1 doesn't work. I intended, and this, although that's the same. Why I'm rushing to? Although I guess now rook d3 is a threat, which is kind of annoying. Don't think I want to allow rook d3. Oh yeah, is it a threat? Can I after like rook b1, rook d3, take, rook here, this? It's an improved version of some names I was checking earlier, but maybe that's tricky. Like they will have here a passer. Don't really want to allow that. Can also take here in those lines. Maybe that's like the way to win, but if that's the way to win, I'm gonna allow it now. I'm not gonna take that risk. Think they need to take with the rook. Think I can challenge here. Think they need to avoid. Rook a5, don't think. Oh, but, yeah, but like I was getting the rook here. Like their rook is more active, but doesn't really matter. Okay, they go for this one. Is this now not just very strong? Maybe they can do this. Maybe. I don't think so. I'll get my king here. But yeah, maybe they somehow evaluated that other as bad, man. The rook looked like more. Yeah, of course, like they want to. I understand why they are happy to like save their pawn structure, but I think it's too slow. Okay, they can do that. I think now I go here. They can do this, but I think that's too slow. And my king will get so active. Okay, they can get also here. But yeah, now I'm thinking I'm going over g4. Don't think I want to allow the king over here. Yeah, makes sense. We'll do the light now. Okay, so this next. No, this next if they don't play king e6, since then I will play g4. Feels like at least still a very stable advantage. It's a little bit. I'm getting a little bit short on time, so and I really can close this game. I think my team would be allowed to kick me out of the team if I would lose this. I feel that would be fair. I think I would want to kick out myself too. So let's double check. Oh, it looks like it's not over yet. I was too quick to give up hope for my teammate. That pawn is running. But if problem could be that white can just take this pawn and that the knight versus the 3 pawns is lost. That would be a heartbreaker. I think it is, but yeah, I'm not sure like they will go for that. I need to be, I can think, I'm not sure board 6 is gonna do that, but yeah, I need to focus on my game. I have only 5 minutes. I was just like doing, that's always the trick, like more, of course, yeah, online doesn't happen that much, but over the board, yeah, you are usually playing with all the team together at the same time. I try to, like lately, I tried to mainly I did a big switch last year to really focus more on my own game, but it's always like you're walking around and you just want to have a quick look, but before you know it, you're invested in the position, and that's really like maybe some people can do that, like have like a very chill, just quick look and forget it, but I really can't do that. So because of that, I think since last summer, it's a pity since it's really a fun part of over the board chess, looking at all the other games. But I really started to just even not look at other games, just my own game. Maybe have a quick look at the board next to me when you're like anyway sitting still. But even try to avoid that at most times. And yeah, since I did that, like it's pretty close to when I started going up. I had like a quick, a short down, but like I had my first very good tournament, and I had a couple, I had also a bad tournament afterwards, but then I jumped up 100 rating points after, so like it's only one of the many things I changed, but yeah, I really believe it's important. It feels, I kind of find that it sucks, but yeah, there's nothing to do about it. It's just the way it is. Yeah, after like let's say I've got king d4 and g4 in, then rook f1 also becomes a lot more tempting. Yeah, imagining that the king is here, right? Since then f5 will be like with tempo. Of course, yeah, they will probably will then move. But yeah, it's hard. Probably I'm just breaking through then. Although I need to like be a little bit wary that, but yeah, it's important. It will always be with check, this one, and then they can't keep the contact with e-pawn. But yeah, there are some like tricky stuff. Since yeah, I don't want to allow, of course, this bishop getting out. But yeah, I will probably in those kind of lines win at least the pawn. And yeah, these pawns will be very strong. But yeah, so what I was talking about, so let's say play this, g4, let's say bishop c7, sometimes you want to get this bishop back in the game, right? Not sure if that's best. King d4, and you need another passing move. Let's say, yeah, they don't have a move, go back, rook f1. So yeah, now this would be a big threat, this f5, e6, but let's say they go here, f5. Yeah, it's always a question, of course, do they trade or not, but let's say they don't. So f5, they need to go back with the king. Now I can take here. Let's say they go here. Then they have this check, which is a little bit tricky, since now they can go at maybe in here. Not a follow. Dang, that's already like 4 or 5 today. Or maybe I'm getting like a lot of subs. I don't know if the noise is different. But anyway, thanks. Hope you have a nice stream. There's some action in chat. I guess there should at least some of you there. If so maybe you have answered even the question of the day. So that's like, how is it in English? It's in the name of the stream. I forgot the name of, like, can do it like here. Don't know if you can read this, but this is the button, and then Q. Oh no, spelling in English. That's also some time ago. Is it Q? Don't know. OTD. So yeah. Anyway, if it doesn't work, it's like, if anyone is following the NBA, okay, you go for this. So after this, I think this here could be a little bit tricky. Don't want to calculate, although yeah, it's still, there's option, but it feels wrong to allow it. Don't think. Yeah. Don't see a reason why not. This is still very, like all this stuff never really can get attacked. Only, yeah, maybe I at some point decide I need to give up this pawn d4. Okay, yeah. So this was like I said. Of course, after this pawn will be pinned, but very hard. Yeah, there now rook d6 is a move, but like there's almost zero chance they're ever playing rook d6. So I think I can safely play this one. Maybe I just go for this. Although after rook c5 I don't really have a follow-up. I guess maybe I can, but yeah, it feels... probably doesn't really do anything. I think this rook f1 is more likely, but I need to, that's something I need to calculate precisely. Did I ask now the... yeah, so the question was like, do you follow the NBA and like who do you think will win game 7? And or maybe for who do you root? I don't know who will win, but I'm 100% in team Pacers. I'm a little bit anti-rooting against the Thunder, like maybe because they beat one of my favorite teams, the Nuggets. Okay, so they go bishop f8. At least, yeah, I'm leaving some pressure here. I can do this now. Oh wow, can I trap this bishop? Oh, that was already earlier that I make it. Oh no, they can go here. Oh, maybe I need to consider that. So let's see here. Oh, that wins. Since after king f5. Oh no, they can go bishop c7, go here, and then they have king f7. No, f6. Oh, okay. Let's think this could win the game on the spot. So here they are very limited in moves, right? This or this. But yeah, this idea was probably already earlier there, but yeah, doesn't matter. So after they go back, yeah, here I have e6. Yeah, they need to take, and I just take the bishop and piece up. And if they go here, I attack it again. Think only move here, and I still do this. Now they can grab my rook, but here, and I'm gonna promote. So, oh no! Oh no! I blundered. So here, this. There is no e6. Ah, that's a pity. Since yeah, there's a pin here. So yeah, maybe king d4 was probably earlier it worked and now it doesn't work anymore. Yeah, that's a pity. Think it's it would be too naive to try to recreate that here. This. I guess I can try. Can I do something else? Like, get here. No, that doesn't really do anything. This here, f5, take. If I take. Maybe I can go here, like, say you're Zugzwang. Looks like they are almost there. I think I always can probably go back. Don't think they have any like improving moves. So after so now will be 8. And what to then do now? Guess they have rook c7. I have also this idea, a4 and then get rook here. Okay. That's a nice idea too. Yeah. Probably this is like the clean idea. Maybe yeah, I like this. Like this f5 was maybe also winning, but I felt there was more risks there, so that felt a little bit irresponsible to my team. So after a4, kind of need to check like this here. Yeah, but yeah, that's nothing. Take it with check and I take the bishop. So I guess after don't think this can't ever be anything. And this should just win. Yeah, feels like a really nice game of fun for me. It was some time. I've been struggling lately in the league. I think probably it helped a lot that I streamed again. Like, I think I wasn't focusing that great. Sometimes watching some videos and stuff like that during the game. So a5 here, a6. Guess they have done now this take here, check, but yeah, I was kept this with like it's even no, it's not check, it's checkmate, so they never can do that. And this now I've just here, so this should just win. Yes, they can go a6, but and they have nothing they can do. They never can get up here since the king is too far. Okay, they go now there. But now they are too slow still. I think here, since this, if here. And I can get up here. They've still no moves. They have now bishop f8, but oh no, after bishop f8 I still have e6 too. Now I have e6 after bishop f8. Yeah, phew. I'm happy like I did it like this. Like maybe going for this f5 or winning to it. That would have been so on. This is just a promote just right. They have even no safe square for the rook. I guess they have this one. Now I can come in with the king. And then they have bishop f8. Okay. So still some more moves. It's completely winning, but need to make a couple more moves. So here go in. I'm just gonna force them to trade right. And now bishop f8 here. Attack the rook. Like the rook has no. Okay, the rook can go back. I can also no, but trading that is probably no, and the rook still has no squares to go back. It's my bishop is also defending this one, so the rook has no squares. Okay, so king e8. They have now bishop c5 here, and they go d4. It can take here and take. Guess after here. No, but that's not. And always like if I'm get scared about the pawns, I can just maybe play f5 and my bishop can go back. Like, as long as I have made enough progress on this side. So next move, guess they can go here and try to hide, but yeah, by that no, I'm also just going getting there. But yeah, the problem once I go king e6, then this d4 idea starts to get real. Okay. So, but yeah, that's the, if they go here, I don't trade, I give checkmate. And oh, that's not. So this is checkmate, right? Nice. Oh, yes. Really happy with this one. So yeah, felt a bit crazy, but I was just, yeah, it felt risks free enough. But yeah, let's me first check what the, so thanks, I think Belgian Pericles was before this team, but still thanks for the follow. Sid Fan from Slack, Hang 2040 309, don't really know you, but thanks for the follow. And how do I put 30 Esonoflu? I recognize the familiar name of Slack. So yeah, let me go to the game. So it looks like, yeah, I give a bit of the advantage, but yeah, let's turn away the engine evaluation. Like, it's good to, I thought I was always better, but still feels like one of my best games in a long time. So I'm not sure. So not sure. Okay, so here, yeah, I think here. So yeah, bishop e6 was the first move. I was out of prep. So, but yeah, I think I followed still the main ideas. Maybe let's check how the go down. But my so yeah, but that's already further. Like yeah, people, it looks like people didn't understand how big my advantage was. Not sure if my opponent realized that, but I wasn't sure I was winning, but I knew it was very difficult. So I guess yeah, here they had some other options, but yeah, this felt a logical way to do that, to play all for them. Yeah, I think this opening is like really hard to play. But yeah, I also I looked quite a lot of master games before, so I was not only, I did some like concrete lines checking, but I also checked how they played and stuff like that. So it's been long since I was prepped that good. So yeah, we are like sort of outside chance for sure for a podium, or maybe even like if everything goes super well for overall league victory. But then yeah, a lot of results need to go our way, I think, that we have far from in our own hands, mostly because we already lost against one of the top teams. So yeah, wanted to do for my team that. Yeah. That does Italy to you. I've been a lot in the sun. So, and here, yeah, yeah, what we are saying, like my bishop is locked too, but their bishop is like, it never got in any prospect side, and I'm always at least looking at this pawn. Like in the end, it helped me with the checkmate pattern, but also like, there was some lines I saw where I get this bishop back over here, I play h4 and g3, and then I'm just win. If I get that, then the game is over. Like if for sure if the hooks are off, but probably even with the rook, since yeah, this bishop is dead, and my bishop, yeah, can play on the queen side together with the king, and then I'm just up a bishop. And then here b5. So here, yeah, it was still like finding the concrete way. Since yeah, of course they try to get some counterplay, but so yeah, they if they here trade. So for example, if they now trade the rooks, then I was pretty sure I could get in the span. Even yeah, I would have gained the tempo on this bishop, on this pawn, and I think I could gotten then that setup. Yeah, so maybe I can show it. So let's see. I played b3 here, right? So that's not just for example. So what I was thinking was here that I could do this. Although now I probably still needed to get. Yeah, maybe I first need to get my king here, I think, in that line. Then I get my bishop here back. Then I play h4 and g3. And I don't think they ever could stop me to do that. And then I'm just playing up a bishop and should be an easy win. So c4. Yeah, I was not sure here if I really had a threat. So let's say they pause. Probably since I was winning all the way. Probably had some threat, but I think I was gonna play a4 here. But yeah, then I was thinking this line. I was not sure about. But yeah, now I have still this, of course, which is kind of important. Yeah, I guess this is still just winning. Okay, yeah, maybe that explains why they played what they played. Since yeah, I'm attacking here. Guess they could try to get this pawn also off, but probably yeah, it should be enough. But then at least I need to like concretely calculate some variations where they get active with their rook. But yeah, this configuration is still very passive. And here, yeah, I think here probably so here was already. I went like with my king here, right? So king e3 probably was good here. And this. And here I played king d4, but maybe this was better. And this is a threat. And I don't know how they stop. I guess they can still play king f7 here. But yeah, then maybe it's still similar. But so now this is really a threat and they have not really. Since let's say you make a slow move, this. So this. Oh no, this now doesn't work. I guess maybe it was never really in the position. Since yeah, let's show what I wanted to, the line I was talking about. So if they do this, so this is the line I was talking about here. And I have e6, and I win. Since yes, and I promote. So then I discovered that line only later, and I thought that I missed this, but probably it was never in the position anyway. Since here, I think they still have this one, yeah, and there's not, there's no e6 yet. Yeah, okay. And then yeah. But probably this a4, this plan is just way too strong. There's no way to stop it. So I think yeah, there's no passive defense here. Okay.